Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, gonna be a match between Last and Mini here on La Mancha, top left. It is our greenish, kind of turquoise Protoss. It's gonna be Mini. And in the top right, it is Last, under his well-known Smurf name, Melverk. Alright, man. So, Mini is not interested in spamming in the early game, but he should be up to 200, 300 APM when he needs it. And Last is a spammer, so we got 470 APM just microwing SCVs around. Alright, so La Mancha, Man of La Mancha, Don Quixote. We've got a windmill in the center. That is what it is referring to. The man tilting at windmills in the book Don Quixote. I think that's the name. I'm not entirely sure. I've never actually read it. Huh. Anywho, it's a PvT. And we've had some pretty good PvTs on this map recently. Can't remember who it was that I cast, but man, that Protoss used recall so darn effectively on this map. Very effectively. Anyway, this is La Mancha. Ramp leading down into your natural base. This is where you wall off. This is an expansion location. Got them all over the place because it's a 4-player map. And yeah, super wide open spaces. High ground for tanks. Wide open spaces for ambushes from Dragoons and Zealots. I feel like this is balanced for PvT. Barracks coming up, Gateway coming up pretty much at the same time here. And yeah, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already for Brood War content 5 times a week. I do not miss days, that is for sure. And SCV scouting the wrong direction. Probe says, well, Mini says, everything's good. I really don't care where Last is. Everything's fine. Cybernetics core coming up before the expansion. And I feel like Last is going to go for a factory before he expands as well. So, very standard stuff here from your PvT. Yeah, there we go. Factory coming up. So we've got Factory Tech versus Dragoons, and we're going to have that for the rest of the game. Tanks and Vultures and Goliaths versus Dragoons, the backbone of the army, and Zealots, and Arbiters, and, you know, Shuttles and High Templar, and maybe some Reavers. We've seen Reavers attempted in PvT from time to time, and it works pretty well. SCV checking to see what's going on, and is going to find the Protoss. This SCV scouting, too. Just tired of scouting the wrong direction, so it does get in here, sees, okay, Cybercore before expand, good. I feel good about my factory before expanding, because Dragoons will be here soon. As a Terran, you don't necessarily have to get your factory this early. You can go for the 1-Rax expand, throw down a bunker. Just know you're going to be dealing with Dragoons that can fire on your bunker without you being able to do anything about it for a while until that factory comes up. And you get something from said factory. Why are we repositioning here? That's weird. Trying to figure out why on earth he wouldn't just throw it on the machine shop. I assume he can build on this. He is now. Anyway, whatever. Expansion now, warp it in here. As Protoss, you definitely do want to be out expanding your opponent a lot. You need to be doing it. Gotta Zergum, man, because the Terran's going to be more cost efficient than you are for the most part. There's that second base coming up from Last now, too. Yeah, APM creeping up in the 200 range here. That's what I'm talking about. When you start having stuff to do, upgrades to worry about, probes to put on workers, stuff to build, right? Probes to scout with and whatnot. And then throwing up a Citadel of a Dune, hiding that over here so scans will not see it. If you're going to scan as a Terran, you're going to scan this. Maybe you're going to scan here, see what's coming up in this direction, but nope. So it's probably DTs, based on the fact that we're hiding the Citadel here. They're going to be very fast Templar archives out of Le Mini. And ready for a Kachow? We are. Templar archives coming up. Let's rock. Going to be DT stuff here. Is Last going to be ready for it? I don't know. Here's the thing, Terran. If you haven't scouted what the Protoss is up to, DTs are a very viable strategy. So just get that ComSat station. Get an engineering bay, throw up a turret in each base. You're not going to regret it, I don't think. It's going to help against observers. It's going to help against shuttles dropping stuff into your base. It's going to help detect against those pesky DTs and whatnot. And I'm kind of surprised that Mini's not moving out here at all. I guess he's not getting singularity charge. Oh, he's going fast robo. So this is going to be DTs coming in a shuttle. So what did I say about turrets being good at many things? Those are two things that turrets are good at. So another factory on the way. No sign of an academy. Production tab says DTs definitely coming through these gateways. Through opening the warp gate. I guess inside the gateway, and then they walk out through the front door. Makes sense for lore purposes. And then just trying to make sure that vultures can't get in here and cause any problems. That's what this wall is all about. So, this is going to be interesting. Spider mines can be a decent defense against DTs, but a DT in your mineral line, the spider mine will drag into the DT and kill your workers too with friendly splash. So that's something you want to try to avoid as much as possible. The DT's just kind of walking out, actually. We are making a shuttle now, but we made two more DTs before that shuttle started. So DT's just going to walk over. And you know what? What is this? Engineering bay. Nope. Academy. Yes. Okay. All right. So he knows the timing for DTs. He knows he's skirting it a little bit here. Oh, spider mines. Ugh. Kills one. Oh, takes a hit. And DT getting... Oh, DT. Swiping that spider mine before it could burrow, cause problems. And this is the plan, right? As Protoss, what do? Kill tanks. You kill tanks all the time. Ooh, doesn't die to 2 spider mine hits. Spider mine damage is intermittent, isn't it? It's not exactly consistent. Ooh, spider mine swiped. Into the mineral line I go. Oh yeah, beautiful stuff. Trying to kill... Oh, spider mine says dead. All right, so that was fine. But guess what? Round 2 is here. More DTs coming in. These guys are riding in style. Unloading here? Nah. This is a silly place. Let's unload somewhere else. Possibly where there are turrets coming up. Mini has some words to say. There's your scan. DTs are fighting because they have to. Oh, he picks both of them up, keeps them alive. So turrets now in both bases. And ow. Learning that the hard way here. Oh, this is a Patreon cast. I forgot to mention. This is originally posted on patreon.com/Falcon Paladin the week of January, like the 22nd. So if you're watching this in January, thank you very much for supporting me at patreon.com/Falcon Paladin for at least $1 a month as one DT does go down. You can see this a month before anybody else. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you're seeing this for the first time in February. DT just kind of hold positioning up here because he knows he's out of range of the turret detection, but another turret's coming up. And it's time to pick up and get out of there as that turret finishes post-haste. Okay, so what are we looking at here? 42 to 37 workers. There is a definite worker advantage for the Protoss at the moment. And that's good because, again, the tanks and the spider mines and the vultures are going to be problematic against your units generally. Ah! Mini following up. Just following up here. With Reaver drops. Dude. This is where last season there's not a third base coming up and says, okay, so there's probably more shenanigans on the way. If I had to guess what's happening. So let's send the vultures out. They got their white jumpsuits on today because last did choose the color white. I don't know. It looks kind of an off-white, kind of a almost eggshell white, their suits. I haven't looked at them this closely before when they're in this color. So where is my shuttle at? Here's my shuttle at. I think it flew over the spider mines. I'm pretty sure last caught a glimpse of that one. So you can deal with Reavers pretty effectively with siege tanks in siege mode in your bases, if that's what you're trying to handle here. Stargate Observatory, Arbiter Tribunal. There we go. So 2-base Arbiter Tribunal. Arbiter Tribunal at about 9 minutes. Pretty standard stuff here, although getting a third base after... Yeah, clearing this out to go for that third base is not a terrible idea. Or expanding down this way, which just completely got scouted out. So maybe you don't want to be doing that. And this shuttle really doesn't want to go, does it? The shuttle is not interested in moving necessarily. Ah, here we go. Ooh, double shuttle play here. What is going on? All right, so we've got Zealots in there and Reavers in that one. Gonna unload some Zealots, cause some mayhem in the natural base. Unload the Reavers right on top of them turrets. Goodbye, turret. taking down vultures with ease here. Beautiful hits. Zealot finishes off that vulture. Disgustingly good plays right now. Oh, both. Ugh, run away. That's all you can do in this situation is just run away. Ugh. Ugh. Last actually had a really nice SCV count for a minute there, and then it's falling apart. He's down to 48 now. We've got a big group of SCVs in the natural base, obviously. Oh, he's got a third base rolling, too. Yeah, Mini's taking a bit of a different tact here. He's getting his third base after the Terran player is. Oh, there's a Wraith out. The Wraith perfectly dealing. Oh, perfectly dealing with the shuttles, and that means the Reavers are definitely gimped here. There. Ow, good hit. 13 kills on that Reaver is not bad. Oh, these guys, too. 16. Oof, before you go down is not too shabby. Lasted down to 46 SCVs, and it's 48 for the only really two-basing Protoss here. Amazing. Insanely good. All right, so this is a great PBT. I am really enjoying this so far. Definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Going for stasis. Tank count is not super hot for it being 11 minutes. I guess we have 6, which is good. 6 is good, but you really want to get up to like 2030. That 2030 number, because then it just turns into an all sorts of crazy problematic setup for the Protoss to try to crack that. Even if they have stasis, man. Vulture attack! This front door was not solidly blocked, and that means the worker count is now in favor of last again. 56 to 44. So I don't know. I think that last has kind of weathered the storm, and he's done some good work here, to be sure. He really has. He's killed a lot of SCVs, but his expansions were late as a result, and I don't think that it paid off for him as much as it needed to. So a bit of a Dragoon setup out here. They don't have any attack upgrades at all, nor are they working on any, whereas Mech is going for +1. Mech upgrades for last here. He's throwing up a supply depot in this location, which is interesting. Just going to go ahead and Zealot bomb these tanks, or try to Zealot bomb these tanks. No tanks are dying, so the Dragoons are like, that didn't go well. Back it out. We need like 2 or 3 of those tanks to die, and then we'll go in with the Dragoons. How does that sound? Nice wall off here at the third base, too, so vultures can't get through. Very nicely done. Maybe a fourth base timing would be hot here. Last has something to say in triangle language. Recall being researched by the Protoss. And actually some dropship here from Last. He says, turnabout is fair play. I'm going to make some dropships because you've been dropping on me. Guess what? I can do the exact same thing. You want best watch your back, Mini. So bottom left is getting cleared out quite nicely. Did not bring an observer with him, but hey. Yeah, you can kill that Spider-Man before it hits if you've got a little bit of luck on your side. There we go. +1 attack is now coming in from the Protoss. You do at least want to get +3 attack. Armor upgrades it seems to vary from player to player whether they want to bother getting armor upgrades or not. Good. Spider-Man does take down a Dragoon there and connects here too. Oh, and very injured Dragoons nevertheless, though. Some of these guys are not doing too hot on that HP count. So it feels like this is a recall Arbiter. You feel like this is a recall Arbiter? I do. Absolutely, positively. Still no fourth base from Last. But you know, this fourth base is coming up fairly late for the Protoss, so I think we're okay there if you're a Last fan. Yeah, gonna move across the top of the map here. Part of the Arbiter is cut off. That's the insanity of the situation. And there's the recall. By that I mean the Arbiter totally dies before it in a recall, and the Observer dies too. So that hurts for Mini. That actually hurts quite a bit. Tank count continuing to just kind of increase 1 by 1 by 2 by 2 by 3 by 3 here, depending on how many are being made. Bottom left base is very important for the Protoss to hold on to here, but we're kind of in a situation where the Terran is just going to have too many tanks. It's going to be very, very hard to deal with this. +2 is about 50% complete. All the splash damage today for Mini. He's going for Psionic Storm in addition to the Reaver's splash that he has. makes a lot of sense. You can do some splash damage to clumped up tanks and Goliaths and even vultures if they can hold still long enough. EMP getting research, going for Charon boosters for said Goliaths. Yeah, this was said about this dropship play. This is not... Yeah, this is going to be down here too. I guess support expanding to this location. Micro Vulture! Micro! Oh, Micro would have saved the day against Senior Bob the Zealot there. Another DT coming in. It's a little bit late for DTs, unless you're making 2 of them and you're going for a Dark Archon, which we don't see a ton of that in PvT. Hardly any at all, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So Protoss is maxed out effectively, 190 supply, 65 total workers. Mini's macro is pretty insane, as it has to be to compete at this level of StarCraft. To compete with LAS, you just have to have insane level macro, and Mini is one of those players that does. He's recently won an ASL here in the year, you know, I think it was 2021. He won an ASL, so like super hats off to him. He's an insanely good Protoss player. This is a bit of an older replay. I think it's from about 2016, but obviously you can see how good he is now anyway, and how good Last is too. He is one of my favorite Terran players. I do have a bunch of replays of him, and I'm glad to have them because they're always good. It's always good Terran from him. I'm never disappointed in a Last performance. He's up to 184 supply himself. His tanks at +2 attack. They are just... they're unimpeachable right now. You can't walk up to this. Spider Mines, Vultures, even Zealots trying to cross this area are just going to have the worst time. So at this point, you're just trying to delay the giant mech army from getting across the map and setting up like right here. Because then your natural base dies and all these gateways die. And as a Protoss, there's your Storm. As the Protoss, which you kind of have to do in that situation, Stasis gets a stasis down. Okay, all right, but it's all Goliath. Like, that's not what you want to stasis. You want to stasis these tanks or maybe the Vulture, something. The Goliaths aren't necessarily the biggest problem here. Ah, I tried to unload and attack this, but there was a DT defending it. That's beautiful. So Mini has actually done a pretty good job expanding in the last couple minutes here. He's gone from being on 3 bases and then 4 to 5 and 6 pretty darn quickly. And defending it pretty effectively, too. I guess that's for base defense DT. Stasis, it's still not here exactly. So, all right, man. Mini decides to go for it, which I cannot necessarily agree with, and he doesn't agree with it either. He backs out after tossing down a Storm that maybe injures 1 siege tank there. Not exactly the best Storm I've ever seen in my entire life. And Last is just doing the inexorable Terran thing, where you just keep moving. When the enemy shows up, you siege your tanks, you chase them away, and when they come back in, you re-siege. And then you try to weather the stasises as much as you can. And then Dragoons are dying all over the place. Good Storms are getting tossed down, though. Like, I'm not going to complain about this. All right, all right. Whittling down that tank count to some extent is pretty good. And these High Templar get obliterated because there's nothing to buffer for them at all. Ten Dragoons at a time in production. Ugh, Spider Mines connecting, or maybe that was a siege tank. It's hard to tell. The Dragoon death animation is the same either way. Oh, DT on a ramp. Just harassing, passing by SCVs, no problem. Dude, getting up into this... Ooh. Getting up into this 4th base, 12 o'clock position that Last is going for with his DT would be amazing. Last, I'm not sure how much he's paying attention here. He's, again, trying to get here with his tank. Zealot bombing him up. Taking that tank, fire, tank down, tank down. Okay, that worked. That worked very well. A couple Vultures show up and actually shove away the DT at that 12 o'clock position while the camera was away. More Arbiters in production, 177 to 177 supply. Shuttle does have a bit of a bigger economy here. He's got more of a bank anyway, as he just makes 11 Zealots at one time because he can afford to do so. Thank you very much. But can he handle the incoming Terran swarm? Just so much. Look how much mech there is right here. I guess tanks just have a larger footprint is generally the thought here. Storm drop at the 12 o'clock, though. Very nicely done. Oh, another beautiful one. 6 kills. 8 kills on that High Templar, and knocking Last down to 59 workers. So, I mean, this is kind of the typical PvT where Terran wins the engagements. Protoss kind of tries to slow him down, but he gets up a massive economy and tries to weather down or whittle down the Terran army through sheer economy reasons more than anything else. Not necessarily winning engagements over and over and over and over. Ah, siege tanks got on the bridge. The third base for Mini is going to go down here too. These are +3 siege tanks. They are doing 85 damage. Thank you very much. Insane amounts of damage here. Arbiter heading down to the south, maybe to recall probes out of here. There are a bunch of workers that are in a not very safe location right now. It's not particularly good. Oh, Stasis is getting tossed down. Only catches one siege tank there. Maybe another. Nope, not enough energy for that whatsoever. Yeah, this is absolutely looking like a last victory here. He is very strong. His tanks have the fantastic, beautiful upgrades that they need. DTs continuing to happen here. Kind of a win behind, make DTs strategy. In StarCraft 2, that rhymes. You would say win behind Dark Shrine, as the Dark Shrine is the tech structure for DTs. Templar Archives only allows you to make the High Templar. One of the differences between StarCraft 2 and Brood War. He's just, I don't know. He's sending out a scattering of units. He's engaging not well here at all. It's 194 to 139 supply, and we're trying to throw up our summer home down here in the bottom left to try to see what's up with that. DT was in the midst of these tanks. My goodness. Storm is great. DT I think the DT just died to Storm, which is unfortunate. There's your scan. Dark Templar gets another setup here, but now sieging up. Oh, on the other side of this. Yeah, this is going pretty poorly for Mini. Lass is just crushing. He's doing very, very good for himself. Guess while this is winding up, quick plug for Falcon Paladin .store. All your merch needs for Falcon Paladin stuff. We ship anywhere on Earth except for, I feel like, North Korea. You can buy with your own currency, too. So, all right, look. This base is dying. Terran's got his bottom right base set up. His 12 o'clock is very well protected by siege tanks and spider mines and missile turrets and Goliaths. And there's just not a path forward here for Mini to win this game. He's trying to send DTs in, but just overwhelmed by spider mines there. Nothing here can shoot up, so the Arbiter's like, I can help. Oh, crap, a Goliath arrived. A single Goliath has arrived. I must retreat now, and I must continue retreating and hopefully not die. Ooh, Goliath got killed by a cannon. That's pretty good, but yeah, this contain is beautiful. This is not coming up again. Oh, we got a recall. A desperation recall here from Mini at the 12 o'clock. Remember what I said about how it's defended? It is fairly well defended here. Spider Mines are clearing out the Zealots pretty darn effectively. Dragoon is dead thanks to Spider Mines and Siege Tanks. Templar's got 6 kills, but it's 47 and 27 workers. And now just wandering into the summer home. This is the last stand for Mini. It's not working for him. And that's going to be all she wrote. This is as GG as you're going to see. Terran was able to get up his huge tank army. The early aggression from Mini was just not enough. He couldn't kill enough SCVs. He couldn't take down a base. He couldn't whittle down the tank count to a point where it was completely reset. It was good shenanigans. We've seen really good Protoss shenanigans. This is a nice recall. I'm not going to complain about this recall. Nicely done by Mini here. But you'll notice the Protoss units are all dying. And all that's left is Arbiters, and they're not that great at killing stuff, as we are well aware. That High Templar could storm, but I think Mini's kind of lost the will to live at this stage. Oh, he did a recall down here. Okay, so he did wipe out the bottom right base, which is kind of neat. That's very cool stuff. Double recall bottom right and at this bottom left, too. But probe count's down to 7 for Mini. He just doesn't have the bank anymore. He's trying to come across the map with his handful of units, what he's got left, and GG! Mini taps out, and last is your winner in 24 minutes and 32 seconds. Well, that was something. That was something to be sure. So well done there by Last getting the win. kind of a pretty standard Terran win against Protoss, right? Just build up a lot of tanks, make sure you're at +3. Armor apparently is not very important to last. He only has +1 here. Then march across. Make sure you siege up when Dragoons come in. And then once they're all dead or pulled back, unsiege and then re-siege. And then pretty much you're at your enemy's natural base and you have them hemmed in. And while they're dealing with your contain, just send a few tanks down to the 3rd base. Send some down to the 4th and the 5th bases. You'll hit some resistance as the Protoss player is any good. And just expand maybe once or twice more once you're on 3 bases and collect the win. Woof. All right. So, again, 24 minutes, 163,000 points for Mini, 187,000 points for last. Outproduced the Protoss, outkilled the Protoss. That is not what you want to see. And resources. You did outspend the Terran player Mini by about 4,000 resources, but in a 24-minute game, that is simply not enough. And, yeah. That was kind of a shellacking here from last. Maybe we will do another mini replay in next week sometime and see if he can redeem himself. All right, so that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.